There are a lot of videos and recipes about meal prepping, but none of them ever seem to be very inspiring to me. What if I told you that we could meal prep with a massive crispy pork belly? We can make banh mi, dan dan noodles, hot and sour soup. I mean, that sounds like my kind of meal prepping. When I think of meal prepping, this is the kind of thing that springs to mind. So you have a carb, you have a vegetable, sometimes like some grilled chicken or something. And I mean, that's just really sad. But what about if you had like crispy roast pork or a crispy roast pork banh mi or spicy noodles? I mean, these are the things that are actually really exciting to eat. And we can do this in a way where we're meal prepping one big pork belly, making 3 dishes and 14 serves. So let's do it. Let's start with the crispy pork belly first. To make your crispy roast pork belly, you want to start the day before. Take your knife and poke lots and 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 lots, so many holes all over the pork belly skin, as many as you can. And then you want to liberally sprinkle that skin with lots of salt. Place in the fridge uncovered overnight, and then when you come back, your pork belly will look like this. So you can see some of the salt is dissolved. We've got a few little sort of wet patches on top. So take lots of paper towel and really pat it dry. And by pat it dry, I mean get right in there. Now you will have wiped all the salt off, so sprinkle with a little more salt, then place into your oven. We want it really hot, 220 Celsius for 40 minutes. So after 40 minutes, your pork skin should look like this. It's starting to crackle, and now we also want to cook through that pork meat. So turn your oven down to 150 Celsius, roast for another 40 minutes, and then you should have like the crispiest crackling ever. I mean, just look at that pork belly. Could it be any more perfect? Listen to the symphony of pork crackling. Symphony Dax. Let's slice in here and have a look. I mean, oh, that sound. First slice. I mean, who are we kidding? You're totally gonna just get in here and eat that first slice. There are some moments in life which are just too joyful for words. But what we need to do now is slice up and divide our pork belly, because of course we're meal prepping here, friends. So I want quite a large piece here for my noodle dish that I'm going to make later on. And then I want a slab here for my hot and sour soup. And the first thing we're going to do with our pork belly though, while it's warm and crispy and juicy and delicious, we're going to make a banh mi. Firstly, we're going to make a really quick pickled carrot. Combine some julienne carrot with sugar, salt and vinegar in a small bowl and mix until it's just combined. Just set that aside while you do everything else. Cut your pork belly into 12 chunky slices. And now for the bread rolls. Spread pate over one half, mayonnaise over the other, then comes the crispy pork belly. Oh my goodness, it looks so good already. Now sprinkle with some of your pickled carrot. You want some cucumber in here as well, coriander and some sliced chili, and that is your banh mi done. I mean, look at this thing. It is a work of art. I'm so excited about it. It's like crispy, it's fresh. Look at it. Look at, let me slice it here. This is gonna make me very happy. There's literally no better way to do carbs, protein, and vegetables. So good. In real life, you would have had pork belly sitting in the fridge since yesterday. What do you do with crispy pork belly that's been sitting in the fridge overnight? Well, you make spicy dan dan noodles. Okay, so first of all, we need to get all Hong Kong butcher on our pork belly here. The pork just needs to be cut into small pieces. Dan Dan Noodles originally uses minced pork, so we're almost mimicking that minced pork kind of texture here, but with like really crispy, uber delicious roasted pork. Then we need to make a little spicy sauce. So you want some soy sauce, some chili oil. Now this is my homemade chili oil, so it has like chili flakes and lots of spices, so you want to add those in as well. There's 2 tablespoons of vinegar, a tablespoon of dark soy sauce, and then just a little dash of white sugar as well. Give that a stir, and then we're going to add a bit more to that later on, but just set it aside. And now we want to be toasting some Szechuan peppercorns. So just heat them in a dry frying pan until you see just a little bit of smoke and they start to smell really nice. And then you can pop them into a mortar and use a pestle to grind them to a kind of rough powder. Now set those peppercorns aside for later as well. Now let's talk about noodles. So I've got a big pot of boiling water and I'm using some wheat noodles here. You can use any kind of noodle basically. You could even use spaghetti if you wanted to. While the noodles are cooking, remove 1 cup of the noodle water and pour that into your spicy sauce mixture that you made earlier. Give everything a mix and then ladle in the spicy sauce into a serving bowl. When the noodles are cooked, you can just transfer them straight into the spicy sauce. Now we need to do the pork. Toss your pork into a hot wok or a frying pan and just give it a stir fry until it's warmed through and getting kind of crispy at the edges there. Sprinkle over your ground Szechuan peppercorns, add in pickled mustard greens. So this is a very traditional ingredient. I'm using the Thai version here because I couldn't find the Szechuan version in my supermarket. And then you also want some soy sauce and some Shaoxing wine. Stir fry all of that for like another 2 minutes so that pork soaks up all of that delicious sauce. Now you can top the noodles with the pork mixture and sprinkle over a little bit of spring onion and you are ready to go. Now this is one beautiful bowl of noodles. Let me show you how it goes down. All right, you got to get in here and mix everything, get right down the bottom, get that pork and the spicy sauce going. Oh, look at that, glossy, shiny. I mean, like the Szechuan peppercorn and the spicy chili oils, and it's so, so good. Do you want to try some noodles?
Hey, Charlie.
You want to try some? Is that good? Good. You just wanted to say hello. Say hi, everyone. Okay, off you go. Go sit down there. Shh. We're now down to our final piece of pork belly, which is always a very sad situation, but this soup is not sad. It is uber delicious. To start with, we want to separate the skin from the pork belly because I want to use the skin as a garnish at the end. So slice the skin off and then roughly chop it up, place it onto a tray lined with baking paper, then just place it under a hot oven grill for like 3 or 4 minutes until it's really crispy. I mean, it should sound just like this. Now take your pork belly meat and cut it into some small-ish pieces. You also want to prep some mushrooms here, so I'm going with some shiitakes and some oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms really just need to be ripped with your hands, but with the shiitakes, that stem is always really quite tough, so I like to cut it off and then finally slice the mushroom. Now we can get to the soup making part. So start off with some chicken stock, add your pork, some julienne carrot, the mushrooms, some sliced tofu and some sliced bamboo shoots. Just give that a bit of a stir and heat that through until it just starts to bubble. Stir through some soy sauce, some dark soy sauce, vinegar and lots of white pepper. Simmer that for another 3 or 4 minutes until the mushrooms have softened and the vegetables are tender. Now you can stir through some corn flour mixed with a little bit of water, and this is going to thicken everything up and make it like glossy and shiny. Just continue simmering for about 3 or 4 minutes until it's ready. Ladle the soup into serving bowls, top with spring onion and that crispy pork skin. Now this just looks like such a delicious bowl of comfort. I mean, it smells soy saucy and amazing and porky. Let's get it here. Everything is like big and salty and porky and rich, and then that little bit of vinegar just cuts through. So good. And the other cool thing with this soup is that you can actually freeze it, so you're meal prepping again, or you can take it to work. It's really easy to pack for a lunch. Altogether just amazing.